Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Ron Manning. Today we're talking about both the January 5th and the January 19th City Council meetings. Thanks for being here today, Ron.
You're welcome.
We'll actually start off with some exciting news that we just learned late last week that the whole railroad overpass that we've been talking about on Hanson Boulevard, there's been funding included in the governor's bonding bill.
Right. It's looking more promising this year. It's, of course, has to go through the legislature. But it's looking very good. And this is going to affect some properties on both sides of Hanson. So we'd like to get the word out. Nothing on the design is finalized yet. So there's probably going to be changes, as there always is changes. It's a combination of Anoka County and the city of Coon Rapids, and it's going to be state funding and federal funding. The railroad's going to put in funding. It's hopefully, if everything goes right, going to be starting work in 2017. And we're, like I say, we're very optimistic that it's going to get done this time. And so if people would like to call and find out if they're concerned about their particular property on either side, we welcome them to call and get information on it to find out, at this time anyway, how it's going to affect their property. Okay. Once again, it can change, and chances are there will be changes. Yeah. But it's something that's really needed, and we're really hoping. At first, we didn't think that it looked like maybe 2020 before we had a chance at this, but it's really moved along faster than we thought. So this is a good thing for Coon Rapids.
All right. So again, the governor has about $12.6 million included in his bonding bill, or calling it his jobs bill, I guess. So that is just his at this point. The House and Senate still need to come up with their own versions. Right. And then everyone needs to compromise on a version. Right. So we won't know exactly until that point reaches, which the end of the session is sometime in May. We
feel we have some strong advocates there, and they really are considering this a high priority. Okay. And hopefully, like I say, it's looking good, but nothing is a done deal, as we all know, until it's done.
Right, and that's sort of the last piece of the financial component, because the entire project's about $25 million, yeah. But the rest of it, the other half, is local money.
Yeah, Coon Rapids itself will be hit in the tune of about $1.5 million, and then the county will be hit what's up, and like I say, the railroad also will be putting in funds. Right. So it's a joint effort, and as far as Coon Rapids goes, we will be able to bond that and not affect our budget a huge amount over the years, and it'll be well worth it.
Yeah, and bottom line, that'll be huge for safety and also those delays that happen on Hanson Boulevard.
That's right. They were stopping the trains on 2 crossings there, and it just wasn't a good situation.
All right. Well, more to come on that. We'll keep our eyes on St. Paul this session. We'll start off by talking about our January 19th City Council meeting. One of the first items on that was a Snowflake Days proclamation. Hard to believe it's almost time for Snowflake Days, but actually it's starting to feel like it.
It is, yeah, and hopefully the weather now has changed for the better. Snowflakes, there's a ton of work that goes into that by some dedicated people, and it's a fun thing for the city every year. You have the medallion, and then there's they're going to have actually it's an official practice game for the Wild now. They'll have the alumni Wild game at the Ice Center. We now have a really neat skate trail over there also. And on the 29th, I think it was 29th, or is it the 31st?
31st, I think.
31st. There's going to be a bonfire, sleigh rides if there's snow on the ground. Otherwise, it'll be wagon rides. And they have the skate trail, and it's going to be a fun day for everybody concerned. We have information on our website. And people can go on that and find out what the schedule of events are going to be. And it's hopefully a lot of people will get involved in it because it's just it's a fun time, yeah. And it helps get through this winter of ours in Minnesota.
That is true. So basically, Snowflake Days kicks off January 28th. It runs through Saturday, February 13th. A lot of events between that time. You said the new event there. You can get all the information on the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov. I know the events are posted there. Snowflake Days also has a website. You can check that out. We'll also have them posted over on CTN Channel 14. So folks can check them out and then just get out there and get involved.
Yep, just have fun.
All right. Council, under the consent agenda, we had the appointment of Al Hofstede as the chair of the Safety Commission, a familiar name there.
That's right. Al's been involved at the city for way before I can remember. But he always does a good job whatever he's doing. And we have about, I think it's 5 openings on the Safety Commission. So if anybody would like to get involved in a commission, that would be a good one for him to check out, because we do need more people involved in that. And also there's on the Planning Commission there's an opening, and I can't remember what the third one is, but if they look on the once again on the website, they'll be able to see who's on the commissions and what they're about. And I encourage anybody who has a feeling like they want to be involved in the city to check these out and see if they'd like to volunteer for one of these commissions. We can't emphasize enough how important the commissions are to Coon Rapids. The city, I don't know what we do without them, but we get thousands of hours of help and volunteer work from these commissions, and it's just a wonderful thing for people to be involved in.
All right, so again, more information can be found on the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov. There's also an application there. I know that you can print off for the time being. Well, eventually you'll be able to actually just fill it out and submit it online, but the application is there. Send it in. Even if there's not openings, they do keep those on file for a while,
right,
and let you rank which commissions you're interested in serving on.
They might get a call later on.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we had a bid opening. This was a consider resolution awarding a contract. This is for the 2016 well rehabilitation program.
Yeah, and it's very important for any city to keep up with these things, because cities that don't, then they find themselves $20–30 million worth of repairs they have to do on things later on. And this is just one of the things that needs to be, we have to stay on top of in Coon Rapids, and any city needs to, and that is the well rehabilitation. Now, they're going to be rehabilitating with this. The bid that was accepted is $453,825, and that will deal with 6 wells throughout the city. And so that's just like I say, it's important to keep up with the infrastructure of the city, and we do that with the roads. And the other thing is the sanitary sewer lining that we dealt with in another item. That is going to be for the old sewer lines. That's going to be completed this year, and it should be a while now before we have to deal with any of the newer ones that were put in. But this is something that needed to be done, and it was done over, I think, a 5 or 6 year period. I can't remember how many years we've been doing it now, but you have to chip away at it. The sewer lining that they put in now makes it actually better than the original sewers, because it really keeps roots from infiltrating much better than the regular clay piping that was put in there. So once again, it's just part of keeping up with infrastructure, and so that later on we don't have to say, well, hey, where are we going to come up with the $50 million to fix all this stuff? We do it as it's needed.
Yeah, better do it slowly as you go there.
That's right.
All right. Council considered an introduction of an ordinance. This is regarding brew pubs, breweries, tap rooms, distilleries, and cocktail rooms. I know we're hearing a lot more about breweries today, and
right,
there's one interested in coming into town.
And we don't know how many other different places are going to want to come in, but we classified them so that it tells the difference between a brewery and a tap room, and it designates how many gallons of beer or whatever it consists of brewery, or consists of what are the different brew pubs, tap rooms, distilleries, cocktail. So no, we have a a orderly designation of all these things, and so we now are able to, if people apply or want to open one of these things in Coon Rapids, we're ready for it. And craft, as we all know, craft beers are becoming huge, and they're spreading all over the place, and so it's okay if we get some here in Coon Rapids.
Yeah, I know one opened in downtown Anoka, I think late last year, so heard about that. And now obviously there's some that want to come here in Coon Rapids. So this was actually just an introduction, though. This will still come back to you guys for formal adoption, correct?
Correct.
And then once these procedures are set up, then someone that is interested in opening them can apply through that process.
Yep.
All right. Council considered introduction of an ordinance. This is a no wake on Crooked Lake during times of high water level. I feel like this is something we do every year.
It's
But it's good we're doing this now because that means summer's not too far off.
Right, and it just, it's just a no-brainer. When the water's too high, you don't want the shore to erode, so you put in some regulations so that doesn't happen, and that's just basically what this is all about.
All right, and this is something that you kind of team up with the DNR and the city of Andover as well, right? Because part of the lake is in Andover.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll look for this summer. And this is just, this isn't implemented year-round, but when the water hits a certain level is when this goes into effect, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it is just basically, that's when the most of the erosion occurs, when the water gets real high, and that's basically why they don't want boats speeding along at those times. So yes, you're right. It's only at certain times.
All right. Council considered a resolution accepting plans and specifications. This is for 85th Avenue Trail construction, authorizes solicitation of bids, and there were also some easement agreements as part of this project. Now this is exciting because this is something I feel like we've been talking about for several years, trying to get funding for this, and it's finally going to be a reality here.
Right, and it has been a long, long time that we've been talking about this, and finally, yeah, it is going to come to being. And we had I think it's 3 easements that we had to and a total of $15,000, I think it was. And it's listed as $1 per easement, and then with other considerations. And the mayor asked about those, and we didn't get much detail on what that was about, but it basically is $15,000 for the 3 easements. So they will be moving along on that, and that'll get done soon. And it has been a long time. I think we were talking about it way back in about 2008, I think I remember us talking about that, and finally we're going to get it.
And the trail we're talking about, this would be on the south side of 85th Avenue, basically from East River Road up to the BNSF railroad tracks there.
Yep.
And then I believe on the other side of that, then it basically connects up with that trail in front of the Springbrook Nature Center?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's the trail system in Coon Rapids is really getting to be something. And when we're done with this, the trail system in the parks from the referendum, almost all the trails are going to connect. And the ones that are in need of improvement are improved now. The Coon Rapids Boulevard Trail has been done, and that is a big improvement. So it's just another thing that improves quality of life in the city. And so a lot of people will hopefully take advantage of those trails and enjoy them.
Yeah, and like we said before, they are heavily used, so people do like their trails.
Yeah, there's a lot of bikers here.
And this project now is being done basically with the park bond, correct?
Right.
That's what's allowing it to move forward at this point.
Right.
Okay. That is all the items we had to talk about from our January 19th meeting. We're going to move back now to our first meeting of the month, which was actually our first meeting of 2016. And as is the case every year with the first meeting, there's a lot of organizational stuffs on the agenda.
Yep.
As far as designating a council secretary, rules of procedure, the official newspaper, and then lots of various appointments to different commissions and boards.
Right, and delegating different council members to serve on different things, such as the Swans board, the ice rink area, and well, there's the Joint Law Enforcement Council, the District 11 Community Education Advisory Council, the Government Information Systems, Minnesota, let's see, what else is,
Just lots of various
yeah,
councils.
there's, lose my place
it's
here,
on this
but
page.
it's on this page, okay.
I see a lot of names.
Yeah. There's also the representative to the North Star Corridor Development, and the Anoka County Fire Protection Council. I think that pretty much it, and the tourism. So each council member takes something and goes to meetings, that are concerning those particular councils, and we designate that at the start of the year. And plus, like you say, the official newspaper, depository, the bank, and a lot of other designated things that we start, the year out and officially designate those things.
All right. So council members really wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, you might say that. Yeah, we do.
Juggle it all.
It's not just going to meetings. There's a lot of other things that come up too.
Yeah. All right. Council authorized an application for the 2016 Community Development Block Grant Program. Council held a public hearing and authorized the application for the 2016 CDBG program. Now, this action was basically, there's some housing items that are in here, some housing programs that the city offers.
And yeah, rehabilitation, things like that. And once again, they can get more information on that by going on the website and see if they qualify for it. But it's a good program, and we have lots of programs to help out with housing in the city. One, Home for Generations 2. We had gone through Home for Generations 1 and now Home for Generations 2. And that part of that funding comes from the Mortgage Foundation. And so it's a number of things we are trying to do in Coon Rapids to help people to keep their houses and be able to afford to do some things with their houses that maybe they normally wouldn't be able to do. And there's part of that program is even some forgiveness of the loan after a certain amount of years. So if they want to, if they think that they might qualify, go on the website, call, find out what the details are on that, and then they'll know, and maybe they can do some things they didn't think they could do.
Right. It's not just low income. I know there's some moderate income programs that people qualify for as well. So your best thing to do is check the website, go on there, and it lists all the programs.
Home for Generations too. There's really no income criteria. It's basically if your house is 20 years old or more, then you qualify for something. And there's all kinds of rules on that, but if I know what they are.
All right. So best bet, check out the city's website for more information on that. Council considered a resolution awarding the contract. This is for the 2016 Sanitary Sewer Lining Program. This is something that's been going on for a number of years, and I believe we're finally nearing the end here.
Yeah,
correct?
I mentioned that earlier, and this is last year of the old pipes. Now, in future years, we hope it's not going to be for a while, there may be need to continue this lining with some of the newer pipes, newer areas of the city that were put in. But it has been going on for a number of years, and it's something we take out of the sewer funds, and it just another one of those things that we need to do in the city to keep up so things don't deteriorate, and this has been a huge success. So with the lining they put in, it's like I said, it's better than it was when it was new, and that'll last for years and years and years. So it was expensive, but it had to be done.
Yeah, like you said, one of those maintenance things that you just got to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Council adopted a resolution. This was accepting plans and specifications. This is for the 2016 park redevelopment projects and authorizing the solicitation of bids. Of course, everybody heard about Sand Creek Park. A lot of work's been done there, and Riverview Park. We are now moving into some of the community parks this year.
Yeah, and evidently we're going to be doing Mason, Delta, Pheasant Ridge, and Woodcrest this year. And of course, the continuing work with the trails. But these designation of bids here will be for those 4 parks. And then they'll come back at a later time and we will then vote on the bid.
Okay, so these have been laid out as part of the park bond project,
Part of the
correct?
park bond project, right.
Okay.
And we've been, like you say, we've done Sand Creek, that is underway. That Sand Creek will be open in 2017, and we're just moving along with it. This is the direction we've been given by the people who voted for that referendum, and in the long run, once again, this is going to be good for the city.
All right. If anybody wants more information as part of the agenda, there are some drawings here of each park and some renderings of kind of the proposed improvements at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Are there still some meetings that are going to happen as far as with the neighborhood on these projects?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's always meetings once the final design, they bring it and then they announce for the neighborhoods to come in and take a look at it, and so yeah, there will be, and that'll be announced when the different meetings.
And that'll likely be happening here in the next couple of months because construction will begin in the spring on these projects.
Yep.
All right. Council awarded a construction management contract. This is for the intersection improvement at Northdale Boulevard and Redwood Street. This is being done with the redevelopment of Sand Creek Park.
Right. It's something, for safety purposes, and something that was needed. It'll just make it easier for traffic flow through that area, and it'll make it safer. So it's, basically when it's all done, when the park's done, when that's done, it's going to be a much better situation than it ever was.
All right, and I know they're planning to construct that signal this summer, correct?
Right, and that's something that the city will be responsible for. Part of the funding for the intersection is Anoka County, but it's one of those joint powers agreements that you sign, and so each one will be responsible for something and for some funds on that.
All right. Council adopted a resolution. This also relates to Sand Creek Park. This is for the Sand Creek Park building. It's a package that's being put together. This was something that was actually went out for bid last year, correct? And those bids were rejected.
They were a lot higher than what was put in what we had planned for on the funds for building that. And so it is going to go out for bids again. We're hoping that it's a more favorable bid climate. It just depends on how busy, developers are and construction workers are. But we're hoping that it's going to be a more favorable bid this time. And there'll be a redesign because the exterior of the building is, we've kind of talked about that quite a bit, and what we can afford and what is going to be practical, but we want something that's going to last for a long, long time. So there will be a little redesign in those bids, and then when we get them back, we'll see where we're at.
All right. And this building at Sand Creek Park will basically house a warming house, concession stand, and then bathrooms, correct?
Yes, and then a little bit of a storage area, evidently. So, yeah, it's going to be a nice place for people to be able to. During the summer, they'll be using it during softball and things like that for the concession part, and during the winter, the skating, the rinks will be right outside there, so they'll be able to use that as a warming house. Go put their skates on, come in, warm up, and it could be a nice building.
All right, and that'll be constructed this year yet, as long as those bids come back favorable and are approved.
Yeah.
Construction would happen this year. Most of the Sand Creek Park project is done, I believe, but now we're waiting about a year till that turf fully establishes itself.
Right. I just drove by it, and it's hard to tell in the winter, but it's going to be a very nice park, and I think people are going to really be pleased with it.
All right, so the grand opening will likely be in the spring of 2017, when everything is really up and running there.
2017, correct. So, yeah, it's the 4th of July thing is not evidently going to move back there. That was a pretty good success over on Coon Rapids Boulevard, so I'm relatively sure that's where it's going to stay.
And it probably could better handle the traffic. There's some space for growth there.
There is.
As far as where there's parking areas and that
Yeah.
as well.
And we have lots of things that we have in mind for that area there that we're going to have to decide on sometime in the near future.
All right. Well, that's all the items we had from our first meeting of the month, and that is all I had for today, unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, I don't think there is. So that's about it.
All right. Snowflake Days. We talked about that earlier.
Snowflake Days, get out and enjoy it and have fun. You know, we're Minnesotans. We have to go out and enjoy this weather, not cuss it, just enjoy it.
Whether it's 30 degrees above zero or 30 degrees below zero.
Well,
seems to be the way the winter is.
I don't know
either.
about the 30 below, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty nice for the next couple of weeks.
We'll hope we got rid of our brutal cold for now.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for being here today, Jerry. We appreciate it.
Ron.
Or Ron. It's early yet. We're taping this early. That's going to do it for our show today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in February. Jerry just comes out with